Want to go live here, Haley, and then you can start the meeting.
Recording in progress.
All right. You see that, Damien?
Sure.
Mhm.
All right, Haley, it's all you.
Okay, we will call the meeting to order. First, we will do attendance or just the approval of the minutes.
We can go right into approval of minutes.
Okay, approval of the minutes from the May 23rd, 2024 Park Board meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, next we have the staff report.
All right. For the staff reports, Emerald Ridge Park update. As of August 16th, we are still on schedule for an early October to break ground. There's still no specific date, but they're not pushing back the timeline by any means. So we're still on schedule, I would say. So for while I was on vacation, you guys may have saw the Heritage Park bandstand has been removed. So our city insurance company conducted their annual facilities tour back in June. During their visit, they identified the bandstand as a significant fall and tripping hazard. Due to the large drop off on all sides and no railings, there was a high risk of someone walking off and injuring themselves. Additionally, the ramp leading up to the shelter had a gap between the pad and the ramp, suggesting it is no longer supported by the ground and could potentially collapse. The concrete edges were deteriorating, so they recommended that the structure to be taken down and sectioned off or repaired. The park staff concurred and suggested removing the structure, which has already been slated for removal from Heritage Park as of this week. As an update, it's been completely taken down, ground has been moved, and grass has been seeded. So that was quick. So didn't take them long to get it down. But when it came to the insurance side of stuff, we didn't really want to play around with that, and it really had no use at the current moment. There's no. It was kind of just an old shelter that was put there back in the early 80s, 90s when it was the American Legion Park. So been there for a while. It did cause some commotion, but everything was settled. For the Diamond Crest Park updates, so this one's kind of been a doozy. And kind of we were in early discussions with the developer of the area of Diamond Crest Park. The development is going to provide, let's see here. Oh, okay. So this is kind of where I was going with this. So the city is in early discussions with a developer in the area of Diamond Crest Park. So there's going to be a new development going on to the west of Diamond Crest Park. So there's currently farmland there. It's going to be more townhomes similar to what's there to the south. So that development is going to provide a significant portion of park dedication fees. We have started the conversation with that developer and the development department about using those funds to complete the parking lot. There's going to be more updates as those conversations come across. It's just hitting the Board of Aldermen and then the Development Committee for approval of all of that. So, but we're just getting discussion started a lot earlier. The same developer is the one that donated the splash pad as well. So they're familiar with the area and have done a lot of work there. And they know that what we've been waiting for from the other developer. So this one has gone will be a lot differently and we handle a lot differently as we've went through the up and downs with the last one. So this one seems a lot more trustworthy. And then during June and July, we were working with a local contractor for the Diamond Crest Park restroom building pad. This contractor underwent a staffing change during the process. After meeting with their new member later in July, we received a quote that exceeded our budget. staff quickly coordinated with internal city departments to find another contractor. Information has been sent to that contractor who's familiar with the project. Since I did this, I met with him today, and they're set to give us a quote sometime next week and look at being within budget, within authority as well, and get that started after Labor Day. As you see here, while I was gone on vacation as well, the restroom is ready to be delivered. We did tell them to push back to Labor Day. That way, the park is not congested and visitors won't be affected by the construction. So hopefully by the end of September, knock on wood, if everything goes accordingly, we could have the restroom there for the park. Obviously, the splash pad will probably be closed by then, but then we'll start construction pretty soon, before winter or right after winter for the parking lot. So, Damien, have you heard anything more on that side of things?
No, I haven't.
Okay. That's what I had for my staff report. I do want to pass over to Alex. I asked her to come today because she's had a crazy summer, her and Aspen, and kind of wanted her to kind of go over her recreation report and what she had done during Parks and Rec month in July. So I'll pass it over to Alex.
Yes, I just want to give an update on our programming for this summer. In my report, you'll see I updated all of our summer programs and the attendance that we had for them. Included in those, July was Parks and Rec month, like Matt said, and Monday was every Monday in July was breakfast in the park, and we handed out donuts and drinks every Monday, and we had about 100 people for the whole month show up, about 20-25 every week. Tuesdays was painting in the park. We had full classes of 20 each week. Wednesdays was sunset yoga, and we usually had 15-ish averaged every week at the courtyard. Thursdays was science in the park, and we had 4 full classes of 20 for that too. And then Fridays, we had a popsicle truck come to the splash pad, and we gave away like 20, the first 20 people got free popsicles from the popsicle food truck. And we sold out of those every time. And then I just wanted to give an update on we finalized our fall and winter programming. And that's the little card I gave you at your seat. We literally just got those in today. But these are all finalized on our website too, if you're not here. So in July, we held an open play pickleball, just a free open for anyone who wants to come at Grace Church for a couple hours. And we had 24 people show up for that. So that was a lot of people for 2 pickleball courts. So we added one more day every month for the rest of the year. It's almost every Friday, the first Friday of every month. So hopefully that goes well. And then the Kansas City Symphony in the park has rescheduled for September. They were scheduled to come in May, but they got rained out. So they're coming, and we'll also have a couple food trucks at that, and that is a free event. We've added a couple 3-week clubs for ages 6 to 12. So Cute Club is just a sewing club. Kind Club is just doing random acts of kindness throughout Smithville. And then we have a candy club around Christmas for just making candy. Outdoor movie at the courtyard is October 11th. We are going to have Woodchuck's mobile axe throwing come, and then Chick-fil-A food truck will be at that, and that is a free event as well. And the axe throwing is free. Let's see, our Halloween events, Matt and I have been working with our committee for the haunted campground. We're still working on things for that, and we meet with them next week to finalize more details.
Yeah, can I pause you real fast on the haunted campground? So the haunted campground site sold out in less than 10 minutes again. People were going crazy for the sites. We do hold 4 sites to auction off. So we have 2 for Larson's Cause because Angie Vbrock sits on our haunted campground committee. Then we do 2 for the Legacy Fund. The 2 for Larson's Cause went for $230 30, and then one went for 300. So the two for Larson's Cause went for about 150 each. So pretty
Yep.
pretty wild.
And then the vendor booths, businesses and organizations that sign up, that they pay $25 for a spot, and then that goes to Larson's Cause as well. So they get a part of that. And then our other Halloween event we started last year was Halloween at the Smithfield Dog Park, and we're having that again. That is a free event as well. Skipping down here, a new event that we're having is Puzzle Palooza. It's a puzzle competition. And we have it open to 11 or 12 teams, and we have half of those filled already. And that is in November. And then we have our annual Christmas events scheduled, the Candy Cane Quest, and then our annual Holiday Lights contest. So those are back as usual.
Yeah.
That's everything for fall and winter.
And if you look at the sports registrations numbers on there, I emailed Alex when she sent this over to me. I was blown away by the soccer, fall soccer numbers because we went from 195 to 230, and look today it was 235 almost now. So it's growing just from late registrations, but just that's a massive increase again from the fall 23 number. So.
Yep.
And then fall T-ball is still open for to the I think the end of this week. And then yep, same with soccer clinic as well. And then fall volleyball is also ended. Looked, and she's got 6 teams, which is what we've had, and numbers are a lot more appropriate for those teams, so it kind of worked out for her. So reservations have been going like crazy too. It was a good summer with reservations. Yeah. So
Hey, Matt,
yep.
were there any weekends or whatever that you guys were sold out on the shelters?
Just if wish Aspen was here to answer that, but just about every
Okay.
weekend, the Smiths Fork East and West shelters are our most popular shelters, and those are rented almost every weekend in the
Yes.
summertime.
Is it worth looking at getting the shelters that Heritage done that we have in the Parks Master Plan sooner rather than later, since they're revenue generating, or do we need to look at work with the Corps about adding another one out at Smiths Fork?
I
Okay,
could probably get
yeah.
back to you. I can look into that and kind of get you some better numbers on what's been available or not. Definitely could be looked at.
Because I know we've had some other groups ask about doing community service projects too. So
Yeah.
the one that Kiwanis did is really nice.
Yeah. Would like to get some sidewalks leading to that if they want to do
Yeah.
that as well. So yeah, I can get back to you on that for sure.
And just so the Parks Board's aware, we've talked about this at Alderman meetings a few times. Any money we generate at Smiths Fork, we have to spend it at Smiths Fork. So it's not the same for Heritage and others, but the core agreement is we have to reinvest that money back. Labor, materials and whatnot. So one of the things that's in budget for next year is paving the campground streets. Or we if we do something that generates more revenue, like in a couple of years, we're going to be building the new ball fields and stuff. We have to make sure that's invested into that park or spent at that park.
Yeah.
We can't spend it elsewhere in the city.
Yeah, and then Alex also provided her events and programs where registrations were like that from when she started in January to where they are as of today. So we were putting together a Citizens Academy presentation, and when I was doing that, we went from I think like 2018 we only had like 5 sports programs, and now we're at 11 with like 30 plus non-sport programs. So pretty crazy growth over the last 7 years. So kudos to them. So yeah, and then Damien kind of mentioned it, the Board of Aldermen's in first discussion of the fiscal year 25 budget. But yeah, there's a few things that we added in there for capital improvement projects, which I'll get back to you once it's officially approved, because nothing's officially until it's official. So I won't jinx it for myself. But Hey, that's all I got for this.
Okay. Next up on the agenda, voting for committee chair position.
Yeah, so with Danny leaving us, Haley is our vice chair. That's why she's in the chair today. But we do need to nominate a chair to go on, and then if we'll go from there. And if we need to do vice chair, we can do vice chair for that. So I'll open it to the committee to nominate who they think will be good for the chair.
I nominate Haley for chair.
We need a
You're welcome.
second on that.
Does anybody else want to
Second.
nominate somebody?
Is that Ben too that we hear?
Damien
Yeah,
has been
Ben
on.
said second.
Okay. So looks like the nomination would be for Haley. Anybody opposed to that?
Haley,
Okay,
do you
we'll
want to be nominated?
Haley, do you want to be nominated for chair?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Do we can we get a motion?
Or you got nomination, you just need a vote.
Okay. We'll just do an all I vote. So
You know, do a roll call because she needs to abstain since she's the one.
okay. We'll do roll call then. So Leah, JB,
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
Mayor Boy,
Aye.
and Haley opposed. So Haley, you are the new chair.
Woohoo.
All right. Now we need a vice chair.
I'll do it.
I nominate JB for vice chair.
Anybody opposed to that?
Is there a second?
Second.
Leah seconded. All right, we'll do roll call again. So Mayor Bully,
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
Haley,
Aye.
Leah,
Aye.
all right. JB, congrats on vice chair.
Woohoo.
If Haley hurts herself again, you have to step in. All right. Thank you all. We can move on to the next one.
Okay, up next, we have Eagle Scout project discussion on a permanent chair location.
Yeah. All right, so we have Colin Crampton here with us today. He is working towards his Eagle Scout project. Colin has been working with myself and Mayor Bully on a location and getting approval for the chair. We had been discussing kind of the best location for this large chair. Similar if you've been up to Paradise, they have one up there, but we'll put one down on location. Colin has been looking at kind of a green chair that would be similar to Smithfield colors. But a location has kind of stumped the mayor and I, and we were hoping to bring this to you all to kind of just put our discussions together and figure out what the best place would be for a piece of art like this. So Colin, do you want to explain some more? You can bring that a little higher. I made you look short. You've grown.
You can, yeah, get it up. Make yourself comfortable.
So I don't really know where to put the chairs. Still deciding on that. It's about 8 feet tall. And probably one of the legs will have to be at least 2 feet in the ground.
So it'll probably need to be in some grass area. The initial thought was maybe the courtyard, but I just don't think it may not be the best location with the trees and the traffic that kind of goes through there. I've kind of just thought myself on some good locations. We have 9 parks. Campground's a really popular area. Campground could be a good spot for a good, location for a picture. There's a lot of space there. And then Alex, we were talking before this, and she thought maybe Helvey Park would be a good one just for scenery. So just a few options out there, but definitely want to open it to you all what you guys think a good location for this would be.
Didn't you have staff had a big, took a photo in front of do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
I just do this, that selfie type thing or
Yep.
something.
Was that at
out?
Helvey?
It was at Helvey for a little bit. Yeah. And then we moved it over to Lake Remote as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think you could, at Smith's Fork, you'd be able to see it from the road up there and say, oh, what's that? What's that down there? Or is there any spot at Heritage where the shelter we just demolished?
Right there. Yeah.
Close
go at the
to
lake?
downtown.
Or no?
It
Yeah,
would-
my concern with Heritage is when if we get the amphitheater funding,
Mhm.
it would not be in an ideal spot. So
Yeah.
I think the idea of they're wanting to do it in Courtyard or somewhere downtown was to bring people to the downtown businesses.
Mhm.
I think that's one thing with it. The one at Captain's Corner, it does bring people into the businesses that are out there.
Mhm.
But again, that's up to you all.
When we redo Heritage, I mean, is everything up for grabs for what could be
Definitely.
redone?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As long as it's trees and an amphitheater and an ice skating rink, I think other than that, we're good. Skate ribbon or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and I mean, Heritage project is years down the road too, so it's not like it's gonna be done tomorrow or in the next 2, 3 years. It's,
Could it go by that big train?
We got to build an airport first.
well, Colin's brother is the one that redid and painted the caboose and added the bench and everything there too, so they're familiar with the area.
Is the lake an option? Like by
Uh,
the Black Rock? That'd be good.
Oh.
That'd be good for.
No, that's core land.
Yeah, they would have to talk to a different group of people, a new committee for that. Leah, any thoughts being like downtown as on the Main Street district, anything like that?
Well, I think it would be really cool to have it in the courtyard if we can find a place that makes sense. Because there's already going to be people kind of gathering in that area, sitting, hanging out. It'd be
Yeah.
a cool photo op for that. I just don't know design wise if there's a place that makes sense for it there. But I also really like the idea of having it at the campground or at Helvey. I think both of those are good
Yeah.
traffic areas that are going to have good picture options, and
Mhm.
I think both of those locations are usually pretty safe too, because I'm worried about like Heritage. I don't know. The first thing that goes to my mind is it's going to get vandalized.
And kind of why it kind of hit me like, well, I think I was at home when I thought about the campground, just because it is monitored by camp hosts there, 7 days a week, 24/7. So, there is going to be monitorization, and you think of people traveling, going up to like Paradise Point. I mean, you are going to get consistent amount of people to the campground for traffic.
Do we have to get core approvals? So it has. I mean, since it would be going down 2 feet to anchor
No,
it.
not for the campground
Okay.
property.
Where specifically on the campground are you thinking? And I'm pulling up my maps.
Yeah. I think there's a good area to the east of the restroom and shower house building, towards the entrance area.
Okay.
There also is some
Is that a place
space.
anyone? I'd say that's
Oh.
not a place that anyone can get to there, right? Because of the way the hosts do their thing, or because that would
There
just
is-
limit it to the
yeah.
people camping, right?
Yeah, it would be limited to the people camping.
I was thinking more by the playground down there. To be able to see from the road.
Yeah.
No. Is all of that land
Hmm.
park and?
Yep.
Or I guess you want people to be able to access it, so not just like to the north of the campground, because there's not really a place to park and.
Colin, were you thinking of any specific areas?
Yeah, we're thinking maybe by the caboose. And mainly just where we're really thinking mainly not really doing it in populated areas, so not just gonna be a random person in your photo, or like won't get vandalized as
Mhm.
much.
Yeah, so Haley, this is kind of like there's an area kind of right here in this part. by the restroom here.
I feel like it's too hidden there.
Yeah, and then there's also the space in the back as well. And then, yeah, then you have kind of an area over here that kind of opens up out at Smith's Fork. We just put a Gaga ball pit here for a Girl Scout project. There's this area here. The playground.
I also think by the caboose would be a good spot too, but you're saying Smith's Fork, when we do it, it could be, but then you just said that was years down the line.
Yeah.
Could it be picked up and moved, like in case?
Be dug up and moved out.
Maybe.
The legs can be
Okay.
taken off. I think it's Colin's preference to put it on the square because of how high visibility it is and how much traffic will come to it throughout the year.
Yeah.
So we were thinking on the
Would it need to be in the ground on concrete, or would there be other ways to secure it to the ground? Like if it was on like if it was on like the surface somewhere over here.
cement in the ground, you don't have to worry about anybody tipping it over the wind.
Mhm.
Could it be bolted down?
You'd have to bolt it to something solid and immovable.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, the preference we were looking was on the west side of the courtyard. Cause it would be a good backdrop of all the different shops downtown.
So you're like picturing in the grass
Yeah,
area. Okay.
Under the trees? Okay. The trees are taller than 8 feet there, I assume?
Oh, they're huge.
I mean, the low part of the tree. Yeah.
Mhm.
Walk all around them. People put their lawn chairs there for
Concerts and stuff.
Yeah,
There is a lot of,
that's like the shaded area for that area. That would be the only downside to that.
Would people get upset about that?
That I'm not sure.
Probably
Damien,
their
Damien, do you
earliness.
have any thoughts on that?
Not
If that
sure.
was in the courtyard and visibility of that area, on kind of what the community would think?
Where at?
Like if it was on the west side between the two trees.
I think that's where they originally were talking about doing it. I think it would be fine after looking at it quite a bit, but I would definitely want to take it to Main Street just to double check.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a draw.
I agree. I think it would be super cool. It'd be good.
So
to
I
go to
just
Main
have
Street.
in my head the one out at Paradise and how it's just out there on its own and you can see it, but it'd be equally cool under a tree and people are driving slower in downtown than you are, on the highway when you're at it. I was just wanting to make sure people saw it. And so but yeah, they'd be driving slow enough to see an 8-foot chair.
I think it would. I
That's
think it would
green.
Especially
catch
if
eyes.
Green.
Green. I think it might help with getting like Major Lumber and them involved in it a little more too, having it downtown. Since I know you're gonna need some wood for it.
I think we were,
And some volunteers, right?
Blue.
we were gonna paint it green and white, I think, right,
Yeah.
to match the colors.
Ye- I think that would be really cool. It just like a couple years ago, we had one of the Parade of Hearts in our downtown
Mhm.
square and we had a ton of people coming down and
Mhm.
taking pictures with that. And I feel like
That's true.
this chair would be along the same lines. People are going to see it. They're going to want to stop and check out our courtyard. And I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think if Main Street District would like it, and speaking as a business owner on the square as you are, be in support, then
I want to check with Main Street too. I think they'll probably love this idea. Anything that draws people downtown is great. As long as we're considering all the factors and making sure we're not missing anything,
Hmm.
then I think that would be awesome. Also, I'm really glad that you said how big the chair was because when I read this, I had no idea that it was so big.
Yeah.
Like, this is a cool chair that he built.
Okay.
If the city decided they wanted to move it and put something else in there, you could take the legs off and move it somewhere else.
Okay. Ben, do you have any comments or anything like that? Thoughts?
No, it sounds awesome though, and I think that the courtyard area makes sense to me too.
Okay. Well, it sounds like the consensus right now is we'll talk with Main Street about getting it down to the courtyard in that area on the west side then.
We have a meeting, I think, on Monday.
Okay, I'll run it by park maintenance too, just to make sure we're covering all grounds and they're okay with that as well.
Yeah, my only concern was the mowing and weed eating, and that's why I think they talk about doing the concrete pad the way they're going to do it to prevent some of the maintenance issues.
I think we were thinking of putting, landscaping fabric and mulch underneath,
Okay,
try to keep the weeds down. I mean, the legs themselves will be anchored in concrete, so as far as weeding.
Yeah.
Anything that touches the ground.
Yeah. and there are sprinklers that go off every day on that property too, so they just need to be weathered.
It'll be treated lumber.
Okay.
Do you have a timeline for your project?
We're trying to make it in, well, near September.
Okay, as soon as you get all the approvals from all
Yeah.
the. Cool.
Is it
Any
gonna
other
have a plaque on it or anything that shows like that you did the project or?
Yeah, we were thinking about like maybe the back or one of the armrests.
Okay, cool.
Gotta get your recognition. All right. Well, I'll take this information. And I will make that recommendation to the Main Street. I could be there with you if you want to, Leah, or you can pass it on for us. And then we'll get the conversation and pass it on to you. So any other questions for us that you need answered today?
8 feet tall and like how wide? Got your dimensions?
Probably 4 feet. maybe.
Okay,
I mean, enough to fit 2 or 3 people on the ship.
uh-huh,
Yeah.
cool.
Similar to the Paradise one.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only questions we had after this is, does it have to go to the Board of Aldermen for approval as well?
Damien? Any any thoughts on that?
You're muted if you're talking.
I'll get you that answer. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I would think with this level, it could probably just stay at this level and we'll just get to Main Street and try to keep it out of that. Because there's not another meeting for Board of Aldermen at the end of September, so would not be ideal with timeline. So
Would we want like the Parks and Rec logo or it to say anything on it? Or will it, like I think the Paradise one says meet me in paradise or something like that, but just,
that could be something we could ask Main Street on what they want to say on the back of that.
or in the front, cause it's in the
Yeah,
photos.
Yeah,
Or the
yeah.
back.
yeah, it's kind of on the back edge of that
I
where
don't
you
know
said
if you
that.
know people with that special handwriting skills, but we could maybe find someone else to, I'm sure.
Help
there's-
volunteer with that.
Yeah,
Would that be okay?
I think Damien mentioned that there's some people he knows, or I think maybe he can do some laser engraving,
okay.
Okay,
whatever.
We would want it to say,
Welcome to Smith.
yeah, Courtyard Park or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good one.
mm-hmm, cause then that would be in all the photos. that-
Yeah. Okay, let's do that then. All right, so the plan of attack will be to talk with Main Street next, with you guys have a meeting next week, you said. And try to get you guys an answer as quick as possible. That way you guys can get on moving on. So, all right. Well,
Thank
thanks for
you.
being here, Colin.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Keep coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to my presentation.
Yeah, good job.
All right.
Up next, public comment.
I didn't have any public comments, so
Okay. New business. Okay, then do we have a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, I'll motion.
Okay, JD motions, Leah seconds, all in favor?
all right.
Aye.
Very good. All right. Thank you all.